Welcome to this week's episode of the Relly and Deli podcast. I'm Relly.
And I'm Deli. And today we are talking about Five Nights at Freddy's Part 2.
Part 2. Oh my god, it's so scary. It's the killing.
Shiver me timbers.
The killing kids. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
It's aggressive.
It is aggressive. But yes. So, Five Nights at Freddy's Part 2 is a continuation of the 2023 video game to movie adaptation. A year has passed since Mike and Abby wrestled with ghosts of their past and present in the haunted pizzeria that claimed the lives of many children. Vanessa is struggling to cope with her dad's actions. Abby is longing for the return of her ghostly friends, and Mike is juggling, fixing Vanessa while keeping the truth from Abby. Soon, the lore of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria is exposed. It's more deadly than Mike knew and more shocking than Vanessa cared to admit. Now, not only are their lives in danger, but the lives of the entire town. A town that may have had it coming. So, yeah. Yes. But, yeah, y'all, grant me some grace as I read these intros. You know, carefully, what's the word? Curated. Right, really?
Right. Don't worry. Most of your flubs will be edited out.
Oh, they won't. They'll be in there.
They won't. They will be edited out.
I don't think it was that bad.
That wasn't.
Oh. Okay. Well, anyways, as you guys know, we break this down into 4 categories. First, it's the story. Then it's acting and dialogue. Then it's cinematography. And then it's sound design.
Exactly.
So we're going to be going through those. I do want to say that this is I would say this is probably like a light spoiler review. I don't think I'm going to get into all the stuff in my points. There's definitely some twists and turns and some reveals, but I'm not going to get into all that. But some stuff I just have to say because I have to say it.
Right. So. Yeah, it's definitely going to have some spoilers in there.
Yeah.
For those of you who aren't familiar with Five Nights at Freddy's, FNAF, for those people who are actually like super into it and play, it's actually a video game. It's a haunted pizzeria, and essentially you work as a security guard, and you're trying to evade detection from the animatronics while you either shut them down or whatever the task may be in the game. Yeah. But they're killer. They catch you, killers. They kill you.
Then I guess you have to start over. I never played the games, but I know they were huge.
Yeah.
And personally, I felt like Five Nights at Freddy Part 1 came out too late. But I think it's the fan base is still there.
Yeah.
And I feel like the peak of FNAF was like 2010. But either way, the fan base is still there, and they're still clamoring for it. Five Nights at Freddy's Part 1, I think, did really well, probably financially, so we have a Part 2 here. And this one probably will also do financially.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's too late. I actually think that certain things need space to grow, you know, room to breathe.
Yeah.
And I first really saw it, I think, watching Smosh clips. That was kind of actually after we watched the movie, but I'd seen clips of them before, so it was very interesting. You know, there's a whole thing about video game to movie adaptations and how cursed, quote unquote, they are, and the fact that they struggle. But it did really well. As far as the horror video game to movie, pipeline goes. I thought it was good. I thought Part 1 was really good for sure. There was more things in this that from watching clips, I was like, okay, this is fan service, but at the end of the day, that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Like, this is for my bitches who love Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's from a video game, so don't try to distance yourself from the video game.
Exactly.
So include Easter eggs and nods.
Yeah, that would upset more people. Like, Monster Hunter's pissed a lot of people off. I played some Monster Hunter games, but I'm not like a diehard, so I enjoyed the film. What was the other horror film that we watched this year?
Until Dawn.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I heard that a lot of fans actually did like it, and they were interested to see more. So yeah, this film was pretty good. It has a pretty star-studded cast. Actually.
It does, and I'm gonna dig into that because I have them pulled up here. But first and foremost, we do want to talk about the director, Emma Tammy. Didn't expect this to be directed by a woman, but we do love that. She's the same director from Part 1. She does have some other stuff under her belt, but nothing that I've seen. Delivered, Bad Moon, Fair Chase, Used People, which is back in 1992.
Wait, Dollhouse? Is that Dollhouse?
I don't see it. It says Dollhouse.
I did.
Oh, Dollhouse. Oh, maybe.
No.
25, so no.
Not the one I know of. Okay.
No, not that.
Well, good on you, Emma.
Good on Emma. You really you're kind of in charge of a franchise,
Yeah.
You're directing this franchise, but so we definitely want to give our flowers to her, and then we want to get into the cast that stars Josh Hutcherson, who you may remember from Hunger Games. He's also been in a few TV shows, and then he was in the first Five Nights at Freddy's. If you really want to go back, you can go to Bridge to Terabithia. But more recently, he was also in The Beekeeper.
He was in The Beekeeper?
Yeah, he was the villain.
Oh, he was the villain.
Take villain.
Good on you, because you look completely different. I forgot that was you.
Going against type.
Yeah.
So, along with him, we have Elizabeth Lyle, who plays Vanessa. You may recognize her from You.
Guinevere Beck.
Yeah, the Netflix series. We have Piper Rubio as Abby, the little sister of Josh Hutcherson.
Who I think probably did the best job in this film.
Well,
shit.
Yeah, we will get into it. We'll get into it. Yeah, I mean, my home stands. I'm not taking anything back.
Oh, for sure.
So it stands, but we're going to get deeper into that. We also have, from Part 1 as well, Matthew Lillard as William Afton, the father of Vanessa. And then we have McKenna Grace as Lisa here.
McKenna Grace.
Part of a group of kind of like ghost investigators, YouTubers, influencers that kind of investigate haunted places. Yeah. But McKenna Grace keeps coming up in my life, and I always forget why. Like, where do you
I keep telling you that McKenna Grace is an icon. At some point,
that's the thing.
Hollywood
I always remember just saying icon. Like, what's so iconic about her?
Okay, let me break it down. So, she was in Gifted. She was like a child prodigy in that. Hold on, let me pull it. It's so much stuff. She was in that recent film with the boy from How to Train Your Dragon.
Regretting You, yeah, because I put up her stuff and I was like, okay.
Hold on.
She was in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Hold on. She was in Frankenstein. She got a whole separate page. She was young Sabrina in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. She was in The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
Okay, as the younger version of the main character.
She does have so many credits to herself that she has her main Wikipedia page, and then you have to click to go to a separate page to actually see all her credits. So I do remember that. She's coming back to life now.
Yeah, she was in Handmaid's Tale. She was one of the young girls in Annabelle Comes Home. She was a voice actor for Scoob, the Scooby-Doo revamp movie. She was in the new Ghostbusters Afterlife and Frozen Empire. What else? She's in a lot.
Yes.
She was in Malignant.
There was a point when you needed a child actor, McKenna Grace was.
It was gonna be McKenna Grace
because McKenna Grace is only 19.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
She's been working. So it's all coming back to me now because I'm like, where is she from?
She's gonna be in Scream 7 and the new Hunger Games.
She is.
Yeah.
So she's set to be something.
Casey Undercover, Vampire Diaries, CSI, Bizarre Lion King, The Lion Guard. She has been in so much stuff that she is honestly an icon.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly she is.
Yeah.
But definitely want to get in on her now. Because she's going to take off. So if you don't know McKenna Grace, get to know her. But yeah, and she does a pretty great job, I think, in the different roles that she does. She's played
a lot of the time the younger version of a lot of
Right.
people. She has smaller roles. I also think she was in the MCU. She's young. If I'm not mistaken, she's young Carol Danvers as well.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay, that's where her icon status comes from.
Yeah.
Last little factoid about actors. Apparently, Chica is voiced by Megan Fox.
For absolutely no reason.
No reason.
And I personally love it.
Right. I love when stuff like that happens, and I love Megan Fox.
If Vin Diesel could be Groot, seeing Groot and getting paid, fuck it.
I feel like somebody recently we ran across was like a voice actor too, just a random voice on something.
Yes, and I can't remember who the fuck it was.
Yeah,
But
that's right. But yeah, so that breaks down the cast for us. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the story, what I rated, and then some things I want to talk about. So I rate the story a 7 out of 10, and yeah, I rate it a 7 out of 10 because it starts really, really strong, and then some things occur later on that kind of gave it that high rating, because really the story along with the writing is kind of, it really shouldn't be a 7 out of 10. But I'm gonna leave it at that, because that's what I rated it, and it's because of
well, what should it really be?
It probably really should be like a 5. Mainly for the writing. Because the choices that are made, I'm like, all right.
But do you put that in acting and dialogue, or do you put that
It's not their fault. It's really in the story, if you think about it. Because it's not, they're just acting and doing the dialogue for what they were given.
But the dialogue is the writing.
I mean, you can put it in both. And it can hit wherever you want it to hit.
Ooh.
But technically, it should be hitting me for story. But
Right.
either way, I'm giving the story a 7 out of 10.
Correct.
Because it have a strong start and it has a strong finish.
Okay.
The start was so strong. Getting into Charlotte, the marionette, the original Freddy Fazbear's location. You know, huge. It was really good. I'm like, oh, this is really about to be something. But somewhere along the way, they kind of dropped me or lost me a bit. And I felt like certain things were just happening just to get us to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
I won't get too deep into those, but I do think that's, certain things were happening just to get us into certain places. But aside from those, like, it's kind of forced. Aside from those things being forced, it actually is a pretty good story, a pretty good continuation. I do think that they could have done with some location clarification, because there were some times where I wasn't sure if they were at the Freddy's that Mike used to work at, or they were at the Freddy's that is the original location.
Really?
Yeah, and I think they were at both, even though they did move. I guess they didn't move far enough.
Yeah, no.
Did you realize they were at both?
Yeah.
And you could tell the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could after the fact, but I couldn't, like, just thinking. I was like, oh, well, yeah, she's at that one, the new one, or the old one, because we've already been to the original, but it wasn't the original one. That was actually the one he used to work at.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess I wasn't really paying attention enough to the, because they always had establishing shots. So I feel like if I would have paid attention to the establishing shots, then I would have been able to tell exactly where we were. Go ahead.
I feel like it was more in, like, a lot of the dialogue they did say. Yeah. Yeah, they said it like a couple of times, like, they mentioned the river and stuff like that was inside of it.
Yeah, they did.
And,
that's
like,
what kind of helped me.
Yeah.
So they did a good job. They did a good job, like, correcting you if you didn't realize.
Yeah.
But I felt like it could have been a little bit more. Or maybe a little more distinction from the exterior. I have to go back and look. But to me, the exteriors look almost the same. So
I actually gave story an 8 for myself.
Okay.
And yeah, it starts off really strong. And I won't even say it ends strong. I say, like, sit through it. Sit to the end credits.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
end.
there's good, stuff in there that really ties it up.
Yeah,
in
I thought
a good
it was so
way.
clever that they had while they're showing their production stuff.
Yeah.
And they have the voice of Matthew Lillard saying, "You're gonna want to wait to the end."
Yeah.
But it's really a part of the story. He's not just saying it to say it.
Exactly.
But it has a double meaning of, you're gonna want to wait to the end.
Exactly. And So, for the story, right? Essentially, it's a year later. In the first film, a lot of shit went down. Mike and Abby are siblings. Mike is, basically the guardian and parent to his younger sister, Abby, who was 10 at the time.
Yeah.
Mike he has trauma from the kidnapping of his and Abby's brother, who Abby never got to meet because he was kidnapped at a young age and never seen again.
Right.
He jumps on somebody while working as mall security.
I forgot about that.
Because he thinks the kid is being kidnapped, but it's really just a bad kid
this is all
rebelling
part one,
against
y'all.
his dad. This is part one.
This is all part
so
one.
he loses his job, gets a security job, working overnight for Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria. It's like this new TikTok trend. Of course, it's like, here starts your first night of your job, making $50 million. Just follow 10 simple rules.
Yeah, it probably all comes from this because it does have set amount of rules.
Yeah,
in the game.
Shit that you're supposed to do and you can't do. So he's working overnight at this pizzeria. At the same time, he's getting involved in this like whole sleep therapy stuff. Because he's basically trying to lucid dream and go into this to see if he can get more information on the kidnapping of his brother. And he's basically sleepwalking through life. Abby, who is 10, is going through just like her isolation. Has her daddy brother who's basically kind of negligent but also struggling. We see that whole thing where like a kid is just a literal idiot doing shit that's like, you're gonna get taken from me and get put into foster care because you're acting like a brat.
Good point.
And like they have an auntie who's coming to take them. Everything goes on. She becomes friends with like the animatronics as Freddy Fazbear's because he takes her there. The animatronics are actually possessed by the spirits of children. The children who were murdered by this guy who is like the yellow animatronic turns out to be the owner of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. And he's also doing something that's manipulating the spirit of the kids. And making them lash out and do violent things.
So now that we're through part one.
Kinda. And the whole thing happened that his brother was kidnapped from a camping trip. He was supposed to be watching his brother. Didn't. Brother got kidnapped. He was in the back of the car and the plane. So we get there now. One of the police officers who's watching Freddy's that's been locked up, that's like watching the Freddy's location, she turns out to be the daughter of the owner of Freddy Fazbear. True. And she knows that her daddy is a fucking kidnapper.
That is awesome.
And then we find out that the kidnapper murderer was her dad. She had the toy from his brother. It was a whole thing.
That was the whole thing. And that's why this is Vanessa. She's going through all of this in part two, trying to reconcile. Because she always knew, but now someone else knows.
Exactly.
And now it's, and it's kind of like a love interest too. So it's like,
will they, won't they?
It's a double hit because she's like, not only does somebody else know, but it's kind of a love interest.
Love interest. And my daddy kidnapped and tortured? We don't know how far he goes.
We don't know how far he goes.
But he kills the kids.
Did he get his brother? He didn't. That was one of the kids, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
That was,
That's making sure. Yeah, one of the 5 or 4.
The one.
Oh, the.
Yeah.
Oops.
So, that's why he came to him and spoke to him.
Okay.
Yes. So in the movie, we see them. They moved homes. We got like some lines about what happened with the aunt. The aunt who we thought was dead wasn't dead.
She wasn't dead.
The animatronics just came and knocked their ass about. She started telling everybody, "Oh my God, the animatronics are alive. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria is crazy. There's ghosts." And now the town, as they probably would in 2025, are like, "Fuck yeah, Freddy Fazbear, Fazbear."
Yeah, I think that's very on brand. There's a lot of things like that has kind of turned into, people are fascinated with true crime and festivals and spooky stuff. And yeah, it all rolls into one. I was literally listening to a scary story before we got on here.
Yeah. So, this story is taking place and addressing the fact that, like, Freddy Fazbear's was a franchise, but there was an original location. Right. And at the original location, there was an original incident. Right. Where this one young girl passed away. Honestly, that opening was so good.
The opening was so
because I was like, is this a dream?
I'm like, no, this is the shit I'm here for.
Happening.
Because it's just like, I'm like, well, what is all this? Because she's specifically waiting for a one particular animatronic. Yeah. Which I was like, girl, what? Ooh. I don't even know who that is because I've only seen part 1. I've never played the games.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. So I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
But it's a signature one only for that original location.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And the drama when that animatronic come out.
Yeah.
And she just
and the little girl, it was so sad because she sees a boy get taken in her back.
Yeah, and this is all at the beginning. So,
in the beginning.
You're gonna see this.
So she tries to tell all of the adults, and the way the adults were just shutting her down, I was like, this is a nightmare. This isn't really happening.
Only except it's not a nightmare. It's the 80s where they had to actually roll commercials saying, do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are?
Remember, your children are people too. They just want love.
Fuck.
So, I don't know what was going on in the 1980s conservative Reagan era.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's what I thought about. I was like, damn, they cold as hell. But also, it's the 80s, so I guess it was rough out here.
Yeah. And she was like, don't you see adults talking? Like, they were ignoring her. Yeah. So she went back there to save the boy. And, you know, I could say it. In the end, she ends up losing her life after saving this kid. Yeah. And it was a whole public thing.
It was done so well.
It was done so well.
Because you thought she made it out. Because you saw, like, him behind her. But and then you like, I know she got it out of there. But then, like, is she gonna fall down and have a knife?
Yeah. And then we look, there was no knife in her back,
but there was a bunch of stabs.
There was a bunch of stabs, and it was so tragic, and you know, touching on certain parts from the start of the film, the sound design, chef's kiss. It was for me exceptional, and then in that opening, cinematography was on 10. You know? And there's elements we'll talk about later. But so, you know, this girl dies and then they do an amazing thing where, like, again, putting this for points towards cinematography, the opening starts and it does, like, clips of, like, the 8-bit video game style of what's happening with newspaper articles talking about the girl's death, the shutdown of Freddy Fazbear, the owner doing all this. This is part 2, so we already know that he is a murderer and he murders more kids later. But he basically closed down that location and they move on. He franchises to others, and the other locations never have, like, you know, as much going on as the very first location. There's certain features that are in that first location that they don't continue or pick up in the other locations. Yeah, like a river and stuff like that. But they also get rid of that one animatronic because the animatronic
is linked to this
that girl's and
so can you take a moment to talk about how realistic that is? You had this crazy ass, murderous ass mystery shit to happen at your primary location, your only location. Yeah. It's closed down and you later resurface with a rebrand and a whole new. And you know, that's so realistic, unfortunately. Yeah. Like, you give people enough time and, you know, people you can just keep on doing. Yeah. Yeah. And there's always somebody who's willing to look the other way for the convenience of the food, the experience, the enjoyment, the music, the whatever it is, you know. People can obviously choose to ignore the artist for the art, the whatever for the whatever. That's nothing new and it's not gonna change. Unfortunately, I'm one of those. I can for some, but it depends on the crime. In this case, I mean, there was nothing to tie the owner to it. It's just something that happened there. So, you know, it could have just been, people break out of facilities, crack all the time. It's easy for me to say because we know exactly what's coming out. We have the behind the scenes, but the kid being stabbed, like, who did it? You just think somebody else came in and did it? Maybe. Yeah, I guess it really, but she was coming from the back room. Yeah. So, I don't know, but yeah. I definitely could see people still doing it. Yeah, because I think about all the horror. People so good at all the horror stuff that horror movies that I've watched. We'll get into that. Or maybe we won't. You want to say it? No. Oh, well, I think of other horror movies that I've watched. Like, normally the older stuff from the 80s. We definitely gonna talk off camera. I want to know what you're gonna say. You need to write that down on your little pad. But I'll say it. People still go to fucking Disneyland. Google the amount of people who die in Disney. Look at Disney roller coaster murder. You know what their rules and policies are should somebody die in the parks. Yeah, they have a lot of stipulations, a lot of... You don't get declared dead till your car's in the street. in their contract, in their their setup that is kind of crazy, and that's public knowledge. You can look it up.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So
allegedly, because I've never actually seen the documents. I've only seen a few people talk about it. So you know what? Allegedly.
I say allegedly.
Allegedly.
But yeah, people can look over thing. I actually do love you. Kisses. But yeah, so now we have a flash forward. The girl who passed away had like a best friend who I immediately was like.
I was thinking too, the girl who passed away, his name is Charlotte. And I thought about she really did love that marionette.
She did.
Because she was dressed like the marionette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Sad. Bless him. Anyway, but yeah, the Charlotte did have a good friend, a good Judy.
Yeah.
That was trying to get her, because Charlotte was a little wayward girl. Not really wayward, but she was, it seemed like she was picked on a lot. She maybe not had the best home life. Well, actually, we know she didn't have the best home life.
Yeah.
But it wasn't abuse. It was more so neglect. And that can be just as harmful sometimes.
Yeah.
Where your parents are just focused on working, or they're focused on other stuff. They're not focused on what you have going on internally, externally, all that stuff. So she was just a bit of a black sheep, a bit of a what's the word? Fringe, borderline fringe girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she did have a good friend that was trying to get her into the crowd, because she was the whole reason that she was there was it was a birthday party. Someone was having a birthday party.
Yeah.
Some nondescript. But I guess we should talk about who the friend was. The friend was Vanessa.
The friend was Vanessa.
Which I did think it crossed my mind, but I'm like, well, let's see.
No, I was immediately like, blonde bitch, Vanessa.
And if this was done about 8 years ago, that Vanessa would have been McKenna Grace.
Would have been. Honestly.
She said one way or another, I'm in this film.
So we flash forward. We have Vanessa. Vanessa is having nightmares of her dad and what he's done. We see that Mike and Abby have relocated away from the house. That all that shit went down. He had to, try and get the custody of Abby back from the aunt. The aunt got knocked out. She's in the loony bin now. Yeah. Those are their words. We take mental health very seriously. And I'm not being flipped. But the entire thing that they're talking about is that she's out of her mind. And then, he has a new friend, an African-American gentleman who's helping him redo and rebuild the house, Jeremiah. And they're there talking. And then Jeremiah is there, and he doesn't really trust Vanessa. He's like, oh yeah, Vanessa got crazy eyes and stuff like that. But he's like, oh, Mike is trying to get together with Vanessa, go on a date with her. Abby is like overhearing and stuff. And, essentially, he's still trying to protect Abby. He was like, don't let Abby know any of this stuff and talking about this. Like, we don't want to bring this type of attention to Abby. Immediately cuts to Abby on the back of the bus telling everybody everything that went on in part
girl,
one. The murdered kids were the animatronics and we freed their spirits. They helped. They did knock out my auntie. Did all of this stuff. Vanessa got shot, but she's okay. She's still recovering. And the suit killed up that horrible man, Vanessa's daddy, and his body
all the hydraulics
somewhere.
Yeah.
And
all the hydraulics kicked in and just killed him.
One person was like, you're fucking crazy. Yeah. And immediately, the black girls and some other people were like,
this alt girl.
Were like, you want to sit with us with lunch?
Right.
So it was very refreshing in that take that like Abby wasn't an outsider like that.
Yeah. She wasn't.
She also had like friends with like this tiny little boy.
Yeah, tiny little science boy who's in robotics class.
Exactly. And he was asking her questions. She's like, you believe me? Because I think everybody thinks I'm crazy. He's like, I believe in aliens.
Right.
So why not
this?
Ghosts.
Yeah.
Haunted animatronics.
Which is I feel like that's so fair,
Yeah.
Because that's how I live my life. I'm like, well, I believe in XYZ, so who am I to tell you that this is not right? Just because I never heard of it before doesn't mean it's not a real thing.
Exactly. So Vanessa is struggling. She's having these, dreams and nightmares about her dad. She's in her like cycling class and stuff like that.
That cycling. I thought it was giving Final Destination for a minute.
For sure.
Like, is somebody gonna slip off and get their head chopped off by a damn spinning wheel?
And I was like, what's going to happen? And we're just gonna run through it. But, ultimately, Mike is trying to convince her to
do her dream walking,
to do the dream
thing.
And honestly, we could talk a little. Let's bring in acting and dialogue as well, because that's really why we talk about the story. A lot of the stuff, right?
For sure.
So yeah, I give it an 8. You give it a 7 for story, and we'll talk more about the story. But the acting and dialogue, this is where things start to go down, because up until this point, the acting and dialogue, amazing.
Right. Wherever you want to put
Young
it,
Charlotte
we'll probably say the same thing.
Young Charlotte was taking me for acting and dialogue.
Yeah.
I gave it.
Yeah, our
I give it a
probably
7.
I gave it a 6.
Oh, 5.
But yeah, our scores won't be the same, but the story and the acting and dialogue probably got dinged same for.
It's a point difference for both. So yeah, I gave it a 7. It was so good. Charlotte in the beginning.
Charlotte was living, honey. She was selling it.
Vanessa as a kid. Them at this point. Mike talking to Jeremiah, Abby on the bus with her friends. The conversations are real. They're grounded.
Yeah.
They make sense. They're relevant.
Yeah.
The first line, I think, for me, that took me out of it is Mike is talking to Vanessa about the dream walking. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, this really helped me. So it might help you. Michael, no, the fuck it didn't.
Oh, and see, this is what they're banking on, and it worked on me. I forgot like what really went on in part 1. I don't really remember what Relly's about to tell you, because he already told me. He refreshed my memory. But I don't really remember any of that. I was like, okay, yeah, it did help him, because he was really trying to work through it. But yeah,
he did a throwaway line like, it really helped me. Yeah, I was sleeping a lot, but no, bitch, you were damn near self-medicating to put yourself to sleep so that you could dream walk and lucid dream to the moment that your younger brother was kidnapped and murdered, which resulted in you sleeping through practically your sister's life. True. And then dream negotiating with the spirits of murdered children and traded Abby to stay in the dream state forever, so you never lost your brother.
Completely
the dreams
forgot about that.
Were not helping you, baby. I was like, no, what the fuck?
I guess he said in the end it helped.
In the end? I wouldn't tell you that pulled me out of it. I'm like, Mike.
In the end, it helped. But that didn't really hit my radar like that. That didn't really hit my radar like that. But I didn't remember anything. They were banking on me not remembering. That's 2 years ago. You don't remember.
Woo!
And it worked for me. I didn't remember. I was like, well, yeah, in the end it did. I know that he did the dream walking, and in the end, everything came out,
yeah,
sunshine and lollipops and rainbows and all that. But yeah, I do want to take a moment to talk about Matthew Lillard. I feel like he been in the gym.
Oh yeah, she a thick girl. She got
very
hefty.
Imposing. Because he was in part 1 and he just looked like some man. But on this, when he was like in that nightmare, I was like, damn, bitch.
Yeah. And that was such a great scene when she has the dream.
Listen, that was doors, so simple but very effective.
I'm
like, damn, I'm surprised nobody's done that before.
Yeah.
Or maybe they have and it just wasn't effective as this.
Yeah.
It was very simple, but I'm like, ooh.
It was very
jarring.
So now McKenna Grace comes in because, she's a ghost hunter
of sorts.
And
shout out to Shelby Oates.
Right. I was gonna say, having recently seen like a ghost hunter something, it's not the best adaptation we've seen. They were okay. I know they were just like fodder really to get to where we were trying to go.
Exactly. And that's that's part of my stuff with the plot and the story. Like some stuff, they're just here to further something. But what ends up happening, I didn't expect that to happen.
No. And so essentially they want to go to the very first location. The one young man is in there. He was in
Teo Briones?
Yes. You may recognize him from Chucky, the TV series.
Yeah, he be showing up too now.
As well as Final Destination Bloodlines.
Yeah.
He was one of the main characters in that. Yeah. So he's a cameraman. We got McKenna going through, and they meet up with this security guard at the original.
Who's also named
Michael Tyre.
I'm like,
Tyre.
Is that just a name that everybody who runs these has? Or maybe it's not to the game.
But honestly, that actually kind of makes sense. And it makes sense on why. Because when Mike goes to Afton to do the security job, and he's like, oh, your name is Mike? Maybe that did something for him because he
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
So,
maybe we won't. We'll
yeah. He probably has a real connection to him because of his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, the most shiftiest, shystiest person you've ever seen in your fucking life. With a smirk that he looks like one of those Asgard boys. Skarsgård boy. Asgard. Skarsgård. That part, because they look like fucking Vikings.
They actually do.
But yeah, he looks like one of those Skarsgård boys. And he lets them in and he's walking them through. And they're together. And then at some point, you know, they're like, all right, let's move on to the next spot. McKenna's character, what the fuck was her name?
Her name was, just a second, Lisa. What?
Lisa. Okay. Lisa is like, I'm gonna stay here. Y'all go ahead. I'm like, literally, why?
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay.
Horror movie decisions, quote unquote.
They get split up.
They get a lot of them in there.
Stuff is going on. There's a box in there that has.
Nice.
Yeah, a music box. Now, the thing that, for me, the story and the lore, and again, I don't know all of Freddy lore. Yeah. There's just a big old animatronic gift box in there.
Yeah.
Who built this?
Yeah.
Who put this here?
When?
And there's a little music box.
Right.
And it's playing. So she has like these headphones on with like an amplification device for sound, and she follows it and it leads her to a hidden room with a music box. She turns off the music box.
I think she does. She does close it. I remember seeing like the insides and the gears, and I'm like, because I was thinking, oh, I could use a music box. And I was like, yeah. Well, what's going on? 'Cause I know sometimes people store stuff in the music box. Can I store stuff in it? I need the storage. And so gears inside. But anyway.
Meanwhile, Lisa closes the music box, and then the bigger gift box opens up, and something jumps out and grabs her. So now, all the other marionette dolls and animatronics throughout the place start moving, come alive. People are dispatched and killed in interesting ways. Just enough to, I guess, get a PG-13 rating. It's absolutely PG-13.
Yeah, PG-13, because it really wasn't.
This movie could have been more gory, but I understand that they do want more people to watch it, and the PG-13 rating is going to help.
And I hope that there's a director's cut. I know there probably isn't one.
That's
probably
like literally gory. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted the same thing for
Megan.
Yeah. Yeah, Mathregan.
Yeah. So we get back to the basement, right? After the people, certain people are dead. The security guard Michael
ran out into the night.
Well, runs down into the basement and sees Lisa being wrestled by the marionette.
Yeah, she is.
And then he's chased out. Now, the design and like the CGI, the cinematography on her, hit or miss. Yeah. Ultimately successful for me.
I think it was same for me. I thought it was ultimately successful. It is. I could see it being a hit or miss. I could only think about Pennywise. Y'all got your yellow eyes.
Yeah.
But also the animatronics have yellow eyes.
Right.
Like the glowing eyes.
The glowing eyes on the animatronics were freaking amazing. The opening scene when she was trying to, Charlotte is trying to get away with the boy.
Yeah.
So good. So yeah.
It was kind of a callback to that moment. I feel like it was a good moment in part 1.
Yeah.
Where Freddy is coming down the hallway and he's kind of slanted, and he starts like,
Oh yeah.
I think it felt the same way, which was very effective. Like, ooh.
Yeah.
But and now the events have been kicked off.
Yeah.
Because we have essentially, I guess, like 2 storylines that are about to collide now.
3.
2 or 3. Yeah.
It's really like 3 or 4.
Because really, the Charlotte is Vanessa's past. Even though, but that's also interfering with McKenna Grayson now.
Right, which is all, and then Michael has his own thing.
His own thing going on.
Mike is in his own world.
It is a lot
lying to
going
Abby, being lied to by Vanessa, and then Abby got her own shit. So and I think that was the thing with the story that dinged it down for me.
You
down
feel like it was too many moving parts.
Too many moving parts,
and it wasn't done as effectively as it could have been.
Because it wasn't meant to be concluded.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're definitely setting us up
for a third film.
Right. Which I understand. I understand because this movie's probably gonna make a lot of money. The first one made a lot of money.
For sure.
Make a lot of money.
Okay. But it was a decent amount.
Signed a deal.
I hope so.
You know?
Because to do all of this and then for it to like not come back for a third film would really suck. But so we flash forward. Abby's in school. Yeah. She has her friends, but she still misses her ghost friends. She's going back and forth. What's his name is lying to her.
I struggle with the ghost friends, but I kept forgetting that they were being manipulated.
They were being manipulated.
And that they really weren't evil. So I'm like, girl, why are you like pining over these ghost friends?
They were kids
that tried to kill you, but they were being manipulated by the head honcho.
Yeah. They did want to keep her, but that's because they're ghost kids. So
as ghost kids do.
They in the end ended up helping her and saving her. Did. She's in school. She's in a science class. She's trying to work on building and tech. Her teacher, played by Wayne Knight.
Yeah.
Fucking cunt. Icon. He's the worst.
He's always been that.
He's the worst. Yeah. He's the worst.
He's always been the worst.
And he said such horrible things to her. And she's trying to enter the science fair. The little friend told her, like, you should try and fix them yourself if your brother won't fix the animatronics. So
that's the whole thing. Mike has been lying to Abby.
Yeah.
He's been saying, like, I'm going to go fix them. But those robots are like shattered in all kinds of pieces, and he has no intentions of going to go fix them.
Yeah.
And even if he does fix the robots, there's no guarantee that the souls of the children will be there. It's a very, and we have to keep I had to keep reminding myself that Abby is only 11. She even has a line that says it. And I think that was intentional.
Yeah.
Because she actually is 11. In real life, she really is, but she's tall.
Yeah. She is a tall kid for 11. But
I can't really gauge kids that well because I don't have any. Yeah. But to me, she does seem like she would be older than 11. Yeah. But she really was 11.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Yeah. And it was a lot of crazy shit back and forth. People were saying that, like, I don't even think Abby was that dumb for an 11-year-old.
I thought she was so fucking dumb.
Ooh.
But because I got my lovely husband Relly here is here to remind me that no, the kids weren't evil.
They weren't.
They were friends. They were being manipulated.
Yeah.
And yes, she's only this age, and so that kind of helps me to it puts me in my place.
Yeah.
To kind of understand this, because I did think she was dumb throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
she's really just a child.
She ran away, went there to try and fix them. He comes and fights her. She gets to speak and say that they start talking to her through to get her down there so that she can help. But they were like, you got to come to the original.
Right.
And ultimately, the marionette we find out was a animatronic that controlled all the other animatronics from
through
the stage.
Wireless technology.
Way
ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And so that was the whole thing with the marionette, because all the animatronics have like their own little personality.
Yeah.
Their little signatures, and that was the marionette signature.
Yeah. So essentially, it becomes like a race against the clock as we find out that the marionette is trying to free itself so that it can get into the town and just wreak havoc. Right. And then we find out that, like, we won't get into much more details more than this, but Vanessa has been lying. One of the things too that dinged the dialogue for me is that Vanessa tells him, he finds out about Charlotte. Mike finds out that Charlotte was another kid that died there. Right. And she knew Vanessa. That was her best friend. And he was like, you lied to me. He's like, look, I'm just trying to get us past this. And it's like, Mike, the language that he was using was like, hey, I'm just trying to get past this shit and you holding us back. A year ago, I had to confront the fact that my dad was a serial killer, child murderer, kidnapper. He shot me in the gut and then died horribly and his body is missing. Maybe 365 days isn't enough time to 100% be passive.
Or maybe the fuck it is. Because you knew when you were little, you knew growing up, you confronted it with me as Mike. But you been knew. You already knew.
Stockholm.
So that part. Now, what I will say is that Vanessa's a lying ass bitch.
She is.
And yes, Hutchie, I don't know if it was because it was just little Hutchie baby, but I did side with him because I'm like, girl, you have been lying like hell.
I didn't side with him until the very end.
It's like, boom, a club, another club,
Another murder.
Another murder.
Missing
another
child.
secret. Another
For me,
lie.
Her knowing Charlotte, what would that have changed in my opinion? It was like, right here, right now, her knowing about Charlotte, what the fuck would that have changed? She was like, you know my dad was a killer and killed kids. And he had nothing to say, and that's why he left. He did get vindicated when another secret came out that we won't say right now.
Yeah.
And that right there, to me was like, okay.
All right.
That is a lot, Charlotte Ruse. You pulled a ruse over my eyes, Vanessa.
And you don't live here.
You don't.
You said you're
that was funny. That was so fucking funny.
Because at this point, we just gonna start laughing now. You know, and then we're laughing, and now other people in the audience are laughing at us laughing.
We were screaming.
Now, girl,
it was so funny. There's like something that happens at their house, and you know things
and
going on
all towards the end.
And Vanessa is just like, you know, no, this is my home.
Yeah.
Except it's not.
It's not, girl. And so I think that's part of the thing that kind of got me, why I deemed it so low.
Yeah.
Overall, because all this is what stayed with me. All this started happening towards the end because it slowly started, the wheels started to fall off and, you know.
Yeah. There was things like, one last thing I'll say is that Vanessa knew about Charlotte's ghost.
She did.
And was the one that used the music box to put her to sleep and seal her in there. Baby, who put the fucking doll in that giant box in the basement for you to seal her spirit? What is the Freddy's lore?
Well, that's true too. So I wonder though.
Because she was a child.
She was a child, but I wonder, which would be so ridiculous. But hear me out. Was she in the box? Because you know, the whole thing with the marionette is that it's going to come from the bottom to the top. Was she in a box to open up to come to the top?
I guess the gift box
but that's
is what
so
contained her, and that's what that hole was, to go all the way up to the trap door.
Now, the hole is definitely what, you know, but that's so ornate.
But the trap door had a bottom, it had a floor. So, to me, it don't 100% line up.
That's one of those
and
things
it's
like,
too many questions. Maybe you got the motherfucking answers, bitch, but I don't. And because of that, you got ding points. Yeah. Let me just run through some other points of some shit that didn't make sense for me. The animatronics in the end listened to another person who's a human being and didn't make sense. Why the fuck are you listening to him? Do he got a remote control? Moving on to the next point. Fuck, the ending is just what I wrote. And I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah. That was a lot.
There was
like
a lot
the end
of
of the movie.
There just there was a lot of things done there just to get us through the plot. Yeah. And the whole distrust Vanessa was also there to get us through the plot. The whole when they were trying to figure out what they were gonna do because you know things are getting crazy with the animatronics. Yeah. And he was like, "Well, you go do this. I'm gonna do this." I mean, that was weird. And then the choice you made.
It was really just so that you can have some really great scenes of the game. Because I've seen Smosh. Okay. Shout out to Smosh. Love you, baby. Have me on. They've played the game, and it's the thing where it's like, flip the lights, look at the door, pull up the thing, pull up the map so they can't scan you. And it really was just trying to give us shots of like recreating the game.
That was cool until it wasn't.
Yeah. But all in all, that was good. The science teacher was a fucking animal.
He was.
So a student even cusses him out, and it's pretty great.
That was funny. Now, admittedly, her first project, girl, this glitchy, this bullshit that you got right here, you need to sit down. You do not need to show up on Saturday.
No, fuck that shit. It's a fucking student fair. You're a teacher. I am trying to learn my tech. So if you want me to be better, why aren't you helping her to make her be better? A lot of people shouldn't be teachers, and a lot of people don't know how to teach, and a lot of people don't care. This is a job that you're sitting down, you're trying to collect the time so you could get your pension at the end of 30 years. Go off, sister. But he was a horrible teacher.
He was. But, you know, all deliberate, of course. But he was a horrible teacher.
The one black friend, Jeremiah, disappears, and which was so great. And then during a horrible rising action where more danger murder, he comes in
clutch,
and I was just like, I was so upset when I saw him again because I was like, sir, they're trying to kill
you don't want him to die.
I don't. Why are you here, man? So that was stressful. Let's jump to cinematography.
For sure, cinematography. So I gave it a 7 out of 10.
I give it an 8.
And you know, the more and more we're talking about it, I probably should have gave it a little higher, but my scores are what they are.
Ooh.
Now, what I want to say is, we talked about this already. Great shots of the marionette. There were some great shots of the animatronics in general.
Yeah.
To really convey that horror, that terror, that fear.
Yeah.
And great shots of the villain possession-esque of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
the bread and butter. That's what you needed to be good at. So.
Yeah. And just step back really quickly. We're not going to talk too much about what happens, but in that scene, the final scene in the house, that's why I thought Abby did an amazing job. She did a very good job in that scene. I think she was pretty solid throughout. And if you hated her as a kid, that's because she was a kid acting and doing hateful stuff.
Yeah,
but she
really
had a good range.
Yeah,
and I think she was a good actress.
You can only hate them so much, and I've always felt like that. I've always said that.
And I've always said that.
I've always said that. You can only hate them so much because they're working with what they got.
Correct.
So, yeah.
But the opening kill scene, intense. It was so good. The imagery,
the filming was good on that
big, the yellow bunny was just so. He's terrifying, and the eyes glowing, terrifying. The opening credits. When I tell you, it's really beautiful, and that's one of my favorite things. Something happens at the beginning of a movie, and somebody dies, and then it's just like newspaper clippings, and it's that thing was like, all right, I want to get this or watch this on streaming because I want to freeze it. So I can read everything in the article. Like in Final Destination does that.
Yeah.
Where like it has these clips and I want to read them.
And they're all very pertinent if you get a chance to really get in there and look.
Yeah. I think this was solid jump scares. The spin class was really good.
It was
Somebody
good.
put a hand on her and it was the yellow bunny. It was her dad's hand. When she turned around with that little
blicky.
And it turned the seamlessness. It was very seamless.
It was.
She has a dream where she runs. I won't say exactly what happens, but she runs from her adult self into her young self seamlessly.
That was really
good. It was so good.
Anybody who's working on Nightmare on Elm Street, please look at this. Please look at the Black Phone Part 2.
Yeah. Some good stuff in here.
That was a very good nightmare.
Yeah. Very good nightmare scene. So that's why I have for cinematography. And then sound design.
Sound design, I know I should have gave this higher.
Damn.
I know. I'm just so nasty.
What the hell did you give
just
it?
A little bitch.
You're out of control.
I gave it a 6 out of 10.
What the fuck?
I know.
Is it, well, you've heard it here first, folks. You know, we talked about what it would look like if we disagreed. We were off by 1 point for literally everything. But I give sound design an actual 10.
I feel like the clunking of the robots got annoying to me.
The clunking of the robots was specifically done to show the intensity that this is different. The first animatronics were fuzzy and soft.
Yeah, and these
and
are
even
all
when she
metal.
first touched New Chicken, she was like, "Oh, you look cool, kind of cold."
You know.
And I think that was one of the most successful lines for the foreshadowing. But it was a lot. But we were also in Dolby, so it was super loud. But I thought it sold it more for me. It was very good. It was haunting. The 80s sound, I mean, the soundtrack kicked in immediately from the beginning of the film and went through well for the entire film. The only thing that almost dinged it a point is that they didn't use the Five Nights at Freddy's theme song.
Which is a banger of a theme song.
It's a great fucking song. Go listen to it if you haven't listened to it.
They have another one.
They have another one by the same group.
But it's not as good as part one, and he really wanted the part one to kind of play at some point.
And then just give me a new song.
I so relate to that because there's a lot of movies and stuff where I want a key example is the new Wuthering Heights. Why are y'all not using Kate Bush, Wuthering Heights in the trailer?
That makes no sense to me.
Or at least some rendition of. Some epic version of.
I feel like they couldn't afford it. I feel like they couldn't afford it. But yeah,
I definitely recognize
the Five Nights at Freddy's song from The Living Tombstone.
Okay.
So fucking great. Love
really
that song.
Good.
The new song is It's Been So Long, and that's what plays at the end of the film.
Yeah. And
it's good. And if you listen to Five Nights at Freddy's and then immediately play that song right after, it even amps it up. But
it does.
Those were the main things for like the sound design for me that I just was like, no. But stay at the end for an end credit scene and then a post-credit audio of a
really
phone call from a character in the story that we didn't really talk about.
Yeah.
But it's a very exciting thing, and having that
gives video
sound
game to me
element,
too.
Yeah.
The sound, because I think that a lot of the stuff in the game is you getting phone calls from like actual people.
Yeah.
And like you got the walkie-talkie, maybe somebody's so that was very reminiscent of that. Yeah, I probably should have ranked it higher. But
no,
either
you
way,
give it what you
I'm
did.
standing 11 toes down. 12,
And
if you're curious.
he doesn't have toes.
I know they're both hooves. Anyway.
What is your fucking
I'm
score?
giving my overall score a 6.5 out of 10. And that's super, super, super conservative. Because I probably could have rated it higher. But I'm going off of what I felt. And I felt enraged after this.
You know? I gave it, surprisingly, an 8.25. I thought it was going to be lower than it was.
I thought it was too. That's really good.
But the story, I was like debating with story, and I was like, yeah, it was either a 8 or 7, but I felt like, okay, it could be an 8. And it's just a lot happening because you guys were setting up, obviously, a third film.
Right.
And then the acting just went straight to shit, and that was for sure a 7.
The action.
They were just singing, doing things that
it's really. I mean,
I couldn't
really
stand
the dialogue,
Josh Richardson,
the writing,
character,
the acting. They were doing what they were supposed to do for what they were given.
Right.
But yeah, the writing,
the dialogue
was
too much. I was like, Mike, you're coming on strong. But then in the final thing, there was more secrets that Charlotte had, and it justified him. But I'm like, this would have been the time for you to really hammer it down. You could have been like, it should need to be more gradual. Just like, hey, Vanessa, I don't appreciate the lies, and this shit gotta stop. Like, you know. But he did some fucked up shit that made her snap on him, and she was able. She was in her right.
She voiced her opinion. Yeah. She voiced her feelings, and she voiced not her opinion, but she voiced what you're probably thinking. Yeah. You know, as the viewer, like, damn, Mike, ease up.
Yeah. But all in all, I definitely watch the first film. I definitely suggest watching the first one and watching this one.
I do too.
I hope we don't have to wait 2 years for Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
Hopefully not.
I hope it's coming, and I hope it is a finale. Like, let's give us a wrapped story, and then we're gonna have 4, 5, and 6. I don't care, but let it be of other things. I want to conclude what this is.
Right. And I think the games aren't like that either. They're not all
the same.
I don't think they're all the same like character or the same thing. But you know, far be it from me. Yeah. But I agree. Yeah. You know me. I love a good finality. I don't like for things to go too long. Because the longer you go, the riskier it gets.
It can.
So I would love for them to
just I'm the opposite. You know? I run it 20 years if you can, if it's good. I think
that's how most people are.
But if
it's good, but I feel like you run the risk of it, you know. All in all,
6.5. I had an 8.25. Let's say it's an 8.
Yeah, I do recommend it because there's some good stuff in there.
Some great stuff. There was some jump scares. I did jump. That's true. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it had some very good scary moments. There were some things that were funny. There were some things that were funny that maybe shouldn't have been funny.
Right. For that you get some dings, but also it's like you should go see this.
Yeah.
Because this wasn't supposed to be funny, but I laughed and I want you to laugh too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. That concludes our little movie review. We do want you to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And comment. You know, let us know what you think about this movie. Let us know what you want us to watch next.
Don't forget to check out our Reddit episodes. Exactly. We just dropped another one this Friday. Again, we're going to be back right now, at least for the next 3 weeks. And then the week of New Year's, we will be gone. I'm coming back, I think, either the first or the second week in January, starting on January 5th. Right. Should be the first time that we're actually back.
Brand new season.
Thank you so much. We love and appreciate you all.
Yes, we do.
And we'll see you again soon. Bye.